viewers. Today we are back with a new video, and we have Dallin here. Thank you so much, Dallin, for coming.
Yeah,
Uh,
thank you, Vasu. Super excited to chat.
yeah, bro. So my first question is to you: is what inspired you to become an enrolled agent?
Mhm. Um, I was, doing tax prep, uh, and they taught me how to, the basics of how to do it. But they also like provided a way of like, paying for most of me getting the EA. And I knew that I wanted to get better at taxes, and I knew I wanted to, eventually specialize that in financial advising. To just be really solid on taxes. Almost every financial advisor I've met, like a lot of them will say, "Oh, like you can never know too much about taxes," and that,
Hmm,
and clients always have questions about taxes, and it comes up
exactly.
every year and all that. Uh, and yeah, so that was kind of my main motivation for getting EA, and uh, yeah.
So how was the journey while you were preparing? Can you just elaborate something? How was the journey overall?
It was good. I'm very glad I had a coworker and a friend to study with. So we
Okay.
just had a little Zoom thing every week. Uh, and they were a lot more experienced accountants than me, so they were able to. They taught me a lot. I was kind of maybe dragging down the group a little bit, but they taught me a lot.
Hmm.
And uh, yeah, it was good. I I didn't get compared to some other stuff I've studied for, I didn't get discouraged too much. So that was nice. And yeah, so that's one of the main things I recommend to people every time they ask is like, I would find, even if it's like a stranger you find online, I would recommend studying with someone. It just makes it easier.
Okay, bro. Nice to know that. You started with part two or part one or part three?
I, I started with part one and then, so one, three, and two. That's how I
One,
did
three,
it.
two. Same,
Mhm.
same, brother. I,
Nice.
that's all. That was my sequence also. Okay. So, what part you found, most complicated or lengthy?
I'd say three. Yeah, three is pretty difficult for me. This all the was it calculating the basis on partnerships, corporations, and all that. Like I'm not even sure I can calculate it correctly now. That was difficult for me. Yeah.
Hmm. So, let me ask you a funny question. If you could create any tax deduction for anything, what would it be?
If I could get rid of any tax reduction,
Any tax deduction if you have to create, that is not
oh,
basically
create.
allowed in IRC codes. That is, anything you
Okay.
have to create of your own that you sometimes you think, okay, yeah, this should be the deduction that IRS should provide,
Okay.
but that's not allowed.
That's a good question. Uh, hmm, that's good. Uh, or was it? I think like this. I might be remembering something incorrect, but I think on like uh bonus depreciation, that's on just like equipment, right? Or like physical
Mhm.
things. So like if you could do that for like, not equip for like businesses and stuff, I think that'd be fun. Like because I'm interested in all the just like buying and selling businesses,
Mhm.
people who do that kind of stuff. I think it's super interesting. So I think I don't know if it's the best thing for like the government or taxes or whatever. I think it's cool though.
Mm-hmm. It is cool. It is cool. So, how do enroll agent help clients to navigate complex tax situation? My question is like, why a tax accountant should be a enroll agent?
Sorry, could you ask that again?
If anyone is a tax accountant, but he is not an enrolled agent, why a tax accountant you think should be an enrolled agent?
Hmm.
So it basically
Uh,
tells you the scope of EA in that case. That's what I'm
mhm.
asking. Why one should be an EA if he is already in taxation? He's a tax accountant.
That's a good point. Um, Yeah, if I was gonna do just tax prep for like my whole career, I'd still get the EA, I think, because you know, when I was working at H&R Block, just doing, what was it like? It comes up like almost every other week of like, oh, there's an issue with the IRS. I got to call and or go online and give them, like there's a lot of stuff you need an EA with if you're doing a lot of tax prep.
Mm.
So yeah, I, it's, would you rather like, I'd rather, I learn the stuff and know how to talk to the IRS than just keep asking like my superior, like, hey, can you do this for me? Can you do this for me? Like, it just makes you more valuable. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So, when you cleared all the three parts, and were your parents were happy? How was the feeling?
um, I felt great. What's it called? I had to drive like pretty far to take the test. So I had like my wife in the car and my sisters in the car. It's just kind of a road trip kind of thing. So they were they were very happy that like our long road trip was not a waste kind of thing. And like we
Exactly,
didn't have to do
exactly.
it again in a few weeks. I remember I told my mom about it, but so she's like, oh, that's great. She doesn't really know what it is, but she's like, oh, great job.
All right. So, let me ask one thing, like any unusual financial advice that you gave to your any client and that turned out to be effective? Is there any unusual financial advice that you gave to any client, but it turned out to be effective?
Are you saying has there been a time when I've given financial advice to a client and I didn't know if it'd be effective?
You were not sure that okay, but you gave the advice, but it turned out to be effective, more effective what you expected.
Okay. Hmm. Um, that is a great question. I don't think I have an answer for that because like I don't know, I'm not like in the position where like I'm giving the advice to the client a ton. I'm still more in like the support role right now, but
Because
I'm sure that'll pop. Hopefully that'll pop up someday for me.
all right. So, have you been working on sales and use tax also?
On what tools? What?
Sales and use tax.
Uh, Oh, I thankfully have not had to. Yeah. As far as accounting, like for like sales and use tax, I've only had it pretty much focused on tax accounting. I've not had to do like income tax accounting. I mean, I haven't
Okay.
done a whole lot on. Well, I haven't done anything for sales and use tax stuff, so I'm inexperienced in that area.
Got it. So, why do you think like because after COVID, what happened? A lot of work is being outsourced. So basically, of US taxation I'm talking about, and the
Hmm.
EA course came in demand in every part of the world, especially in India. As EA have come lot of EA have come in demand. So, what advice you want to give to all the EA aspirants who are working, preparing for EA? Any motivational thing you want to say to all the viewers?
People who are like studying for it right now.
Yeah, we're studying for
Oh,
enrollment, yeah. Because there are a lot of
yeah,
people, they are working and simultaneously they are studying also. So it is little
that's
difficult.
fine.
So you need a motivation. But what we as you're a EA and it's a conversation going between two EAs, what
Mhm.
motivation you can give to all the viewers for preparing and studying for EA?
I'd say, you know, yeah, definitely you know, get disciplined about when you can study. Something I've struggled with is like, oh, I'll study for it tomorrow, or oh, today got busy. What worked for me was like trying to study in the morning and definitely having that regular weekly study group with my friends. That was huge for keeping me motivated. Uh, and yeah, so pretty much studying in the morning, studying with friends. That's the main thing I would say. And as far as okay, anything else, like definitely just kind of like networking, uh, and even like networking with people who aren't like exactly in the same exact job you're doing, but if they're adjacent, I'd still network with them. I mean, you're obviously doing great with that, so I'm sure you're teaching the right stuff to your viewers.
Thank you. Right. So I guess discipline and consistency, making a good network. being with the people who are working in the same domain really helps you a lot while studying for enrolled agent. So thank you so much, Dallin, for joining. It was great session talking to you.
Thank you so much.
I wish we will connect once again back and we'll talk more about on enrolled agent as well as on more other domains as well. So thank you so much, brother. Thank you so much for coming.